Welcome, riders, to another video. Today we're going to be talking about all the nerd cultural impact of 2023.
So come and join us on the ride here in
The passenger seat.
Woo! Welcome back, riders, to another week in the passenger seat. Like Carlos said, we've got an array of nerd sort of what would that be? Happenances that have happened all throughout 2030. Impacts. Okay.
Yeah, I would say impacts. And just for further note, I know there's when it comes to nerd culture, there's so much. So the things that we mentioned, we just mentioned because this is just a list we got. But if you guys feel like something was left out, something very nerdful or impactful or whatever the case may be, just go ahead and leave a comment in the comment section and let us know what we forgot.
Yeah, for sure. Y'all know how it is. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Let's get right into this.
All right, starting off with what everyone seems to, involve nerd culture with and makes usually the biggest impacts, MCU. So for this last year, we had Ant-Man 3, The Marvels, and our personal favorites, Guardians of the Galaxy 3.
Yes. Man. Ant-Man 3, it was actually pretty good. I didn't watch any of these in theaters, unfortunately. I actually had to watch them once they released on the Disney app. But
I liked it.
Yeah, I didn't think I would like or I would enjoy Ant-Man as much as I did, and I actually really did. But I mean, the movie that stole the show, Marvel-wise, this whole year, I think, had to be Guardians of the Galaxy 3.
I'm gonna assume, because I didn't do it either, you didn't see Marvels.
I did not see.
No, I haven't seen it either. Sorry,
I did not see it. Again, it's for me, going to the movies has been a thing where it has to be a movie like that I'm really interested in. The experience of going to the movies, it's not that it's bad for me, but I don't know. I feel like I've gotten so used to like watching movies at home that going to the theater, and I don't know if this has happened to you. I think this is the cause of us getting old. But man, I sit in that chair. I sit in those theater chairs, bro, and it can be one of the comfy ones. But after a while, my lower back starts to hurt.
Oh yeah. No, I get you. It also depends on seating, obviously.
Yeah, but no, I mean, I've been on comfortable ones too, like in VIP, like the VIP movie theaters that we have here, and their chairs are super cushiony and comfortable, and they're reclinable. But even then, like, geez, I get a pain in my lower back where I'm like, man, it does not feel good to be hitting the 30 mark.
I'm already there.
Yeah, old ass piece of shit.
Anyways, yes. For me, I feel like Guardians of the Galaxy 3 definitely made the biggest impact out of the MCU this year. Or last year, however you want to say it.
Technically last year, by the time this video comes out.
Yes. So Guardians of the Galaxy 3 definitely made the biggest impact of 2023, I feel, for the MCU. And TV shows included, even though I really didn't keep up with them. Simply because I feel like it was such a good story. It's James Gunn's send-off. Like, he's just not doing it anymore because he's going into DC. And it tied in a lot of stuff for the Guardians that I really enjoyed. The movie was funny, makes you cry. Even, was it PETA? PETA? They said that James Gunn was 2023's ambassador for pets because of the movie.
Nice.
That's pretty good. I call that an impact.
I call that pretty impactful. Yeah. I mean, if you got PETA on your side, I mean, you must have done something right, because those people bitch about everything.
All right. But let's go to something very interesting to Joseph here. Biggest impact of 2023 for card games, and that is Disney's Lorcana.
Let's go, baby. Indeed. Man, what a
still hype. Selling out till this day.
What a hype train with Lorcana. Yeah, things have, I mean, excuse me. Okay, sorry.
Okay.
Things have started to like calm down with Lorcana. I think people, stopped being so crazy with like, the scalpers especially, and Ravensburger is doing an interesting job of really, not that I mind it, because I just wanted to play the game, but they've been printing that game into the ground. Basically, they've been printing so much that scalpers have no choice but to retire from having to sell the product, because initially when it started, it was such a mess.
A good or bad thing?
Okay, it depends. So from the get-go, the cards I think should have never been as expensive as they were. They were very expensive because there wasn't enough product, and scalpers were really abusing that fact. And so the booster boxes, which MSRP cost about $150, were going at one point for almost $500, which is ridiculous. It's almost 3 times the markup. And I'm sorry, I'm going into like a financial tangent here. But I'm saying that,
fantastic, guys, bring out your notebooks.
I'm saying those cards should have never been worth what they were, especially because Ravensburger didn't denominate first edition printing. So even now with the reprints, there's no difference from the first set, like the first printing and the printing that are coming out now. So the cards really don't retain any value. And that's what we've seen. Cards that were worth $50, $60 are now plummeting. And cards that were once worth 30 are down to like $5, $2, $3. And it's like,
it's sort of a good thing for people who want to buy, but a bad thing because in the future you really can't hold on to anything.
Exactly, yeah. And people who invested heavily ended up, losing quite a lot of money. But hey, you win some, you lose some. Still, the game is really, really fun. I had the chance to go to Miami with a bunch of friends to a big, probably the biggest Lorcana tournament to date. And we had lots of fun. And then one of our guys took home the gold. Puerto Rico. And yeah, it's been a really big sort of thing, and I'm super excited about it. I want to see where that game continues to go.
All right, I personally myself have not played. I love the imagery, obviously, but for those of you out there, yeah, you definitely understand the impact it made. I'm going to move on to movies who are basically not part of anything like MCU or DC, but still made a cultural impact for the nerd community, and that was the Super Mario Bros. Movie, TNMT Mutant Mayhem, and last but not least, of course, Into the Spideyverse 2, which, man, let me tell you, Into the Spideyverse 2 was a movie, okay?
Man, shit. I kind of want to take back what I said about Guardians of the Galaxy now, because I feel like, the Spider-Verse 2 was, I'm sorry, I feel like that was one hell of a fucking flick.
It was.
Jeez,
honestly,
yeah.
out of the 3, I definitely feel like Spider-Man 2 or Into the Spider-Verse 2 definitely blowed the other 2 out of the water. Not saying that the other 2 didn't have an impact. Of course, the Mario Bros. Movie was in theaters for multiple weeks because, kids were eating that shit up. But honestly, I enjoyed the movie myself as well. I enjoyed Mutant Mayhem as well. They're both fun, made for the whole family, all that stuff. But Into the Spideyverse was just the artwork, the voice acting, the story. It was just everything about it was phenomenal. That it was deemed long, but when you watch it, it didn't feel long, man, because you were just that into it. At least for me.
Oh, okay, I get that. For you, that was my only criticism with the movie. That for some odd reason, for me, I expressed this to other people and they didn't share my sentiment. But for me personally, I felt like the pacing was just a bit slow. In some points of the movie, not all of it. Like I want to say maybe it was somewhere at the beginning. I don't know. I can't remember that well where I sort of felt the way that I felt about the pacing, but I did feel at a point where I was like, man, this movie's dragging on just a little bit too much. And yeah, but either way, the movie was great. Like you said, the animation was spectacular, but that's not surprising. I think we mentioned, I don't know if we mentioned it before in another video, but you went into that movie having such a having high expectations because of the last one, and they delivered, and that's not always the case with sequels, you know?
I agree.
So
didn't know it was going to be a part 2 either.
a lot of us didn't know it was going to be a 2-parter. So when they left us on that cliffhanger, it was like, no freaking way. And I'm actually, so I don't know if you thought about this too, because knowing you and you're, the primordial sneakerhead.
You trying to cop the kicks?
I was expecting them to drop, and I think this is coming for the next part. The kicks that the other
they did, but it was exclusive to certain people.
Oh, the other dimensions, Miles Morales's
yeah. Like commoners like us, we won't be able to get them.
It's the one with the pocket, right? With the
yeah.
Oh man. Those look so crazy too. Those look crazy. I forgot what the name of those were.
It's just a commoner life. It's fine.
Right.
Okay, moving on from that, even though definitely Into the Spideyverse made more of a cultural impact than the next 3 movies I'm about to mention, which are the DCEU. So from that, we have The Flash, Aquaman 2, and Blue Beetle.
Okay. Other than Blue Beetle, I haven't watched it yet, actually. I did watch Aquaman 2, and it was pretty good. Flash, I think, made the most impact because of how terrible it was.
I'm about to let you know some very sad news.
Oh no, please no.
I haven't seen either of them. I haven't seen any of the 3 movies.
You haven't seen Aquaman 2?
I haven't yet. It's my weekend. Maybe I'll jump on it.
Wow, that's surprising coming from you.
I've been busy, and with Aquaman 2 especially, you guys know I'm a big fan. Been busy, haven't been able to see it. I'm going to see it. Now with The Flash and Blue Beetle, I'm going to be honest, I think it hasn't piqued my interest to watch it, especially The Flash. But I will definitely give Blue Beetle a chance because from my understanding and from what I've researched, it was the most, I wouldn't say the most culturally impacting, because I think that might have been The Flash because of the controversy, but I think it had the best ratings. Like, definitely. Like, it was actually considered a great movie.
Yes. That's what I was going to say. Like, for me, if I had to choose one of the 3, it would be Blue Beetle. But if we're talking about the one that made the most of an impact, it had to be The Flash. Just because, man, oh my goodness,
there was a lot. Yeah.
It's like that meme. Look what they did to my boy. You know,
that's so true.
Jesus Christ! Talk about a waste of a movie.
So these are the final 3 movies of the DCU. So the DCU officially ends 2023. From 2024 and on, we will move on to the not DCEU but DCU, for which James Gunn is in charge. So only the future can tell how the DC is gonna, hopefully rise up.
Hopefully, we've got a couple of things on the way. I've seen a couple of. Oh, that isn't DCU, but whatever.
All right, now I'm gonna touch into the funny part is this is 3 things that I haven't done, but you did all 3. Video games of 2023.
Yes.
Obviously, we're moving on to Spider-Man,
Baldur's Gate,
and Harry Potter and Hogwarts Legacy. Sorry.
Okay. Well, give me your thoughts, and then I'll
do 3. But I will say, from statistics, obviously, it's hard because socially, Spider-Man 2 made the biggest impact simply because people are more of Marvel heads. But Baldur's Gate is 2023's Game of the Year. It actually won the award for it. And Hogwarts Legacy, I did hear good things about it too, but it did fall behind the 2, I will say.
Okay, so my experience, I played all three.
Mm.
Okay, here's my thing with Spider-Man. It's a great game. You know, the story is on point, brings you in, gets you really invested. You're super excited to see a couple of things in the game. And it's great. My biggest problem with the Spider-Man franchise games have been the replayability aspect about it. Because I played that game to completion. Obviously the new one and the first one as well. And the problem is that once I'm done, you're like, what do I do now? And you sort of get bored, and you don't want to. It's like, I don't want to play with you no more.
Yeah.
And Hogwarts had sort of the same effect, in the sense of like, I didn't pass Hogwarts completely, but trust me, like, I was super invested in playing a Harry Potter game, you know, with the magic and the stuff. It felt, I don't want to say underwhelming, because the world was amazing, the graphics were amazing, just the ability to fly around on your broom and you know, cast spells and stuff, really awesome. But for some reason, for some reason, it got to a point where I was like, man, I'm kind of bored. And I know that's strange to say, but that's how I felt about it. Now, moving on to Baldur's Gate.
Would you say that it's like one of those things that if you were a true Harry Potter fan, then you would enjoy it for hours? Like if someone was like hands down like a Harry Potter fan?
I mean, if you were like a Harry Potter freak, then yeah, maybe. But it's turning into more of like, I'm playing it because of this and not because like...
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get you.
Now, Baldur's Gate, well, I'm a little biased because obviously I'm super into D&D, and the game is basically everything you want D&D in game version. You get the ability to play with your friends, which is amazing. But just the world, the story, the customizability, the fact that you can become any character, you can play it the way that you want. You want to go evil, you can go evil. You want to go good, you can go good. And there's so many ways to play it out. Imagine there's 17,000. It's not alternate endings. It's a different word, reiterations or something they call it. But 17,000 different ways that the story might slightly change at the end. And just that alone is, you know, thinking about it, is nuts. So I think Baldur's Gate is definitely worthy of winning Game of the Year. You know, it definitely holds that spot. And imagine the impact that Baldur's Gate had. Now, since we're talking about impact, that other game developers were like, don't expect us to do stuff like Baldur's Gate 3. Like, that's like a once in a lifetime thing. Like, don't hold us to the same standard. Imagine how crazy impactful a game has to be where other game companies are scared that they have to live up to the expectations of another game. That's wild.
Well, I mean, it definitely made an impact. Obviously, Game of the Year always holds true. You know, like usually when people win Game of the Year, it's because they really did deserve it. You know. We're not saying Spider-Man is not a good game or Hogwarts, but you know, it's what you're into. But impact-wise, yeah, Baldur's Gate would be on the top. All right, I'm gonna move on to TV shows that made an impact. I'm excluding anime for now, just so we can go ahead and go through other TV shows first.
Okay, that's fine.
The Last of Us, the HBO Max TV show. Invincible Season 2, because Invincible Season 2 was awesome. Scott Pilgrim, which technically counts as an anime, but and which this is one that I feel really got overlooked this year. Maybe didn't make much of a cultural impact, but you let me know. Futurama Season 11, The Comeback. Those four, I feel like, made the biggest cultural impact. The Last of Us, of course, made a cultural impact. Like, people were talking about that show almost all year round, and they were expecting that second season because it ended up being a really good show with really good actors. And obviously, the prosthetics and the makeup department did an amazing job. I'm biased, so I feel like Invincible. God. It's not even done yet, so that's how much of a cultural impact it made, that it's only 4 episodes in, and you could say that it blew a lot of TV shows out of the water with only 4 episodes. When it comes to what's the other one I mentioned? Let me look at my list.
Futurama and Scott Pilgrim.
Yes, Futurama and Scott Pilgrim. Now, Scott Pilgrim. Oh, how do I say this? It made an impact. Yes, I don't think anyone can deny that. But obviously, a lot of other Scott Pilgrim fans were not the happiest with it, I would say, because there was quite a few changes to it. And as for Futurama, the reason it made an impact is because not for the season itself, but because they announced the show was coming back, and obviously that got people really excited because Futurama hasn't been in TV for 7-8 years, something like that.
Honestly, I'm actually surprised that you mentioned TV shows and you failed to mention The Bear.
Oh, it's not nerdy.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, The Bear did make. There's a lot of TV shows that made an impact, obviously, but I'm talking about nerd TV shows.
You're right. Sorry. Anyways, if that weren't the case, The Bear was amazing. Anyways, so okay, going back to it, I feel like Scott Pilgrim is definitely a show that, albeit good, really good. I agree with what you're saying. There was a lot of fans who were sort of really thrown off by the story. They didn't like the direction that they took. I personally loved it because it was refreshing. It's not the same old regurgitated Scott Pilgrim story that they've done and over, and it's like, bruh, we get it. You know, he does the same thing. He has to beat Ramona's exes over and over. Excuse me. It's like, I like the direction that they took, and I like that they went this way, and I like that they gave other characters their time in the sun. If hardcore Scott Pilgrim fans didn't like it, listen, that's too bad for you, homies. Like,
on 100% Rotten Tomatoes, son.
Right? You have to see it in an objective point of view, not subjective. And the objective point of view is that the show was good. Period.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, but other than that, I don't feel like it made the biggest impact. I believe that is either between Futurama. I'm gonna be honest with you, bro, and I know you're gonna judge me because I know how much you love Futurama. I didn't watch the latest season. I watched maybe the first 10 minutes of the first episode, and I fell asleep.
The thing is with Futurama is it's not that the season isn't good. It's just it's like you never stopped watching it. Like, it almost just goes back to its normal pattern, its normal routine. That's why I say in the beginning that the season itself didn't make the biggest impact. There was no episode that you were like, dang, like that. But just the fact that it came back is what made it on this list, I guess.
It's what made the hype. I get it. So again, Scott and Futurama for me are not contenders. Invincible and The Last of Us, though. Now we're getting into some really strong fighting words territory because Invincible is great. But I feel that if one show made an impact, and we can't. I feel like we can't put Invincible at the top because it's not done.
Yeah.
Maybe if it were, maybe it'd give The Last of Us a run for its money. But The Last of Us was so impactful. Just the level of quality, the attention to detail, that they did with everything, the VFX, all those things in that show was just amazing. I watched episode 3, the story of Bill and Frank, and I was fucking I was crying my fucking eyes out. I was like, holy shit, I didn't expect to fucking feel during this season, but apparently they want to fucking tug in my heartstrings, and they did. So yeah, no, the show, absolutely amazing. I have to give it to The Last of Us for this one.
It kind of feels like The Last of Us takes the cake, at least for 2023.
Yes.
Invincible is kind of hard because it's divided, so you're just like, what the freak do I do with that?
Yeah, it might take it for 2024. Who knows?
Right. All right, now we're gonna jump into anime territory, which I know a lot of you guys are waiting for. So I'm gonna go ahead and mention the biggest impacts of anime for 2023. Please don't kill me in the comment section. Number 1, Yu Yu Hakusho, live action TV show for Netflix. Obviously made a big impact because any live action anime makes a big impact. That brings me to obviously the live action One Piece, which was the most viewed Netflix show in the last, I think, 10 years for Netflix. And one of the other ones was Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2, which made a tremendous impact in the anime community. And I know what you guys are about to say, but I haven't seen it. Didn't watch Season 2. Only like 4 episodes. But I understand that Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2 made the biggest anime impact of 2023 when it comes to an anime season. Now, like, it had a tremendous amount of views, tremendous amount of people onto it, people getting emotional. Like, the whole thing was a thrill ride for a lot of people. And obviously, Japan's catching on to that. Other stores are catching on to that, getting so much merch and stuff. Now, I will say the one thing that had the most views, more than probably the entire Jujutsu Kaisen season, maybe not the entire, but at least from each episode, and this is probably the biggest cultural impact of anime of 2023, Luffy turning into Gear 5.
Yes.
Those are the 4 things.
Yeah. Oh man. Here's the thing. I feel like it's very difficult to compare it simply because, okay, I'm losing the, adaptations. The 2 adaptations.
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna put them to the side, not because they're bad. Yu Yu Hakusho was pretty good, and One Piece was pretty good. The thing is that they were very hyper condensed. At least Yu Yu Hakusho was. That was my biggest gripe with the show, is that they took away so much world building and character development. But the choreography was great. I think the casting was essentially almost perfect. So again, with the adaptations, I haven't seen One Piece, unfortunately, but
I should see it.
I should. But here's my thing with Jujutsu Kaisen and obviously Luffy going to Gear 5. Jujutsu Kaisen is new. Okay. It hasn't been anywhere, it hasn't been around nearly enough as One Piece. One Piece has built such a powerful following that it sways the masses. It's just it's like, it's not even a competition at that point. I will say this. I've seen some great moments from One Piece. Obviously, I haven't watched the entire thing. And I've seen the entirety of Jujutsu Kaisen so far. And personally, I feel like I like Jujutsu Kaisen better. Now, that's probably biased because obviously I haven't given One Piece their fair shot. But man,
I understand what you mean, though. Like, One Piece has definitely been around longer, and this last season for Wano, 3 episodes had the most views in Japan, which was Luffy Gear 5, Zoro's fight, and Sanji's fight. But Jujutsu Kaisen, I feel like the beginning of the year One Piece, the end of the year Jujutsu Kaisen. Like, I feel like that's how it went. And
here's the thing. I feel, people obviously hype One Piece. I'm not saying it's bad, but I feel like sometimes they overhype it. And not to take away from, the Gear 5 transformation. I know that was over the rails. But I feel like if any other show had the same amount of time that One Piece has had to sort of build, One Piece would be sort of left behind. That's just me personally. Because if I had to choose, I'm a strong believer, and I will literally fight anyone for this.
Get them in the comment section.
If Bleach had the same amount of episodes as One Piece, Bleach would blow One Piece out of the water, no pun intended. Dude, Bleach would leave One Piece behind. I don't care what people say, dude. Because Bleach has better art.
Get them in the comment section, guys.
It has a better style. I don't care. It's 2024. No, but really, that's honestly my thoughts. I'll give it to One Piece though. you know, just because the transformation to Gear 5 was so, you know, it was such a big thing. I'll give it, you know, let's leave Jujutsu Kaisen for later. It'll earn its place.
I definitely feel like it's earning its place now. Definitely being one of the top contenders with other animes, but obviously it hasn't been around long enough to make the biggest cultural impact. But things like Jujutsu Kaisen and Demon Slayer and God, I'm trying to think of another anime. What I'm trying to get with these animes is these animes are technically done. Like their mangas are finished, you know. Like the stories are making such a big impact, but I guess the question would be for how long, you know?
Right.
But well, it's only time could tell, and Jujutsu Kaisen is doing a pretty good job so far. The last thing on this list is a cultural impact for, I guess, different generations, but obviously I left it last because technically it's the last thing of this year, and that is The Boy and the Heron, which is made by Studio Ghibli, and supposedly he said this 3 times already. It is Miyazaki's last film, being a director for the Studio Ghibli, which he was the one who created Studio Ghibli, but it made an impact because he came back and then now he's leaving again, but he's already said this 3 times with 3 other movies, so it's kind of hard to believe it. But this movie that came out, obviously Studio Ghibli always does well, but this movie that came out is like a 98% on Rotten Tomatoes. The cast is perfect and being considered a runner-up for a nomination of Best Animated Film in the Oscars. So we'll see how that goes. And that is the end of the year for 2023. I haven't seen it though.
I haven't seen it either, but is it surprising at all? I mean, most Studio Ghibli movies are impactful in one way or another. You know, and some of my favorite animated films are from Studio Ghibli. That's just, and I feel like that's a shared sentiment between a lot of people. There's at least one movie in Studio Ghibli's roster that people will go, that is an excellent movie, and I'd honestly take any moment out of one of my days to like rewatch that movie.
I definitely feel like there's some of them that were lower than others. There's some of them they get undervalued or ignored, but a lot of those times the greatest ones were directed by him. Like just being real. So it doesn't surprise me him coming back and doing this, and it becomes something amazing like always. Will this be his last time? Probably not. He'll probably come back for some other moment. But I'm gonna be honest, and I guess people in the comment section can decide. But if it comes to the Oscars, I feel like animated movie Into the Spider-Verse 2, if it happens. Just saying. I haven't seen Boy and the Heron then, so don't kill me.
Yeah, we'd have to watch it and then go from there, I think.
Okay, so those were the cultural impacts of 2023 that we compiled a list of. But if we mentioned, like I said before, anything that wasn't mentioned that you feel like made big cultural impact, let us know in the comment section, and we apologize for missing out on it.
Yeah, like Carlos said, let us know down below. Again, make sure to like, comment, subscribe. As always, we are so thankful for having you on our rides with us. Let's go into this. Yes, let's go into the new year, going all out. And yeah, make sure to like, comment, subscribe. We always appreciate y'all. Hopefully you enjoyed this ride with us. Hopefully you'll join us next time here in
The Passenger Seat.